Something is coming for the Heartland family. Something they never expected. Quiet warning carried by the wind, a sudden fear in the horse's eyes, and a single message that changes everything. In Season 19, Episode 9, Danger Doesn't Walk. Through the front gate, it creeps in slowly, watching, waiting, choosing the perfect moment to strike. Now the question is no longer if the family is in trouble, but who wants revenge, and why now? Episode 9 opens with a quiet morning at the Heartland Ranch, the kind of morning that feels so peaceful you almost forget how quickly life can turn. The sun rises over the hills, the horses breathe softly, and for a moment, the world feels steady. Amy walks through the barn, checking on the horses, smiling as they nudge her for attention. Everything seems normal, almost too normal. Like the ranch is holding its breath for what's coming next. Jack steps out onto the porch with his coffee, taking a slow look around the land he has protected for decades. The air feels different. Today, and even though he doesn't say it out loud, something deep inside him knows that the stillness is not a gift, it's a warning. But he stays quiet, because mornings like this are rare, and he wants to believe that peace can last, even if just for a few minutes. Inside the house, Lou is already buried in work, trying to balance the endless tasks that come with running both a family and a business. She doesn't notice the shift in the air yet, but she will soon. Tim, meanwhile, is restless, pacing around the yard, checking gates, checking locks, checking anything that might give him an excuse to shake off the strange feeling tightening in his chest. There is no loud event. There's no dramatic reveal, not yet. Instead, the episode sets the stage with a sense of quiet tension, as if every corner of the ranch is whispering that something unseen is watching. Even the animals sense it. A horse suddenly lifts its head, ears pointed toward the distant tree. Line, staring at something the camera never shows. It lasts only a second, but it's enough to plant the idea that the Heartland family is no longer alone. The beauty of this opening is how gentle it appears on the surface. But underneath, every moment hints at the storm that is slowly moving toward them. Nothing has happened yet, but everything feels wrong, and this calm is fragile. This uneasy calm is exactly what makes the coming danger feel even more powerful. Because when peace looks perfect, it usually means it's about to break. The peaceful morning at Heartland doesn't last long. By early afternoon, the ranch shifts from calm to uneasy, without anyone fully understanding why. It begins with something small, so small that most people would ignore it. But at Heartland, small things matter. Small things tell big stories. Amy notices the first sign while walking past the west pasture. A section of the fence is broken, not worn down by weather or pushed by an animal, but snapped cleanly like someone wanted it to break. She kneels beside it, touching the wood. It's fresh, too fresh, and the ground around it is disturbed. But not by hooves. These are footprints. Human footprints. Someone was here. Amy feels her stomach tighten. Heartland has always had open doors and open fields, but this is different. This isn't an accident. This is a message. She calls Jack over, and when he arrives, the look on his face changes instantly. Jack has seen threats before. He's faced trouble head-on. But even he can tell that this isn't random. Someone walked right onto their land, broke the fence, and vanished without a trace. But the true warning isn't the broken wood. It's what Amy finds next. Caught on one of the fence nails is a thin strip of fabric, dark and rough, like it came from a jacket that's seen too many bad nights. It shouldn't be there. It doesn't belong to any of them. When Amy lifts, dust falls off, dust that looks like it came from somewhere far away from Heartland's fields. The wind picks up. It's brushing through the grass, making the whole ranch feel colder than it should. Amy and Jack stand there, saying nothing at first, because sometimes silence speaks louder than fear. And this silence carries one heavy truth. Someone came to their ranch with a purpose. Back at the barn, one of the horses reacts strangely, pacing, snorting, looking out toward the trees as if remembering something that frightened it. Horses don't lie. Horses don't imagine danger. If a horse is scared, something real is out there. Jack finally breaks the silence. His voice is steady, but there's a sharpness beneath it. "This wasn't an accident," he says. Amy already knows he's right. The question that hangs between them is the one the whole episode will chase. Who stepped onto Heartland land? And what do they want? The ranch has faced storms, fires, fights, and heartbreak. But this feels different. This feels personal. Someone out there is sending warnings instead of words. Someone is watching long before they strike. And as Amy and Jack head back toward the house to tell the others, the camera lingers on the broken fence still, silent, waiting for the truth to unfold, because every act of revenge begins with a sign. And this is only the first one. The broken fence is no longer just damage, it's a doorway to questions that the Heartland family doesn't want to ask but must face. Because if someone came onto the ranch with intention, then that someone has a reason, and reasons, especially hidden ones, can be more dangerous than any open threat. The first person who comes to mind is a face from the past, a former ranch hand who left Heartland on bad terms. His exit wasn't quiet. He felt overlooked, forgotten, pushed out by the family he once trusted. Some wounds don't heal cleanly, and some people don't forget what they believe they were owed. Could he have returned, not for work, but for revenge? It's possible. He knew the land, knew the routines, knew exactly where to leave a warning without being seen. But revenge doesn't always come from someone, you know. Sometimes it comes from someone who watches from the outside, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Recently, a rival trainer had been seen circling Heartland's success from a distance. Their competitive nature turned bitter after losing a major client to Amy. People like that don't take defeat lightly. Their pride becomes a weapon. Could this rival be trying to break more than fences? Maybe trying to break the family's spirit? Still, the most unsettling possibility is the stranger no one noticed. Someone new. Someone who might have appeared earlier in the season. Quiet, friendly, harmless on the surface. The kind of person who stands close enough to learn about you, but keeps far enough to stay hidden. Sometimes the greatest danger is the person you never expect. Jack considers all of this with a heavy mind. He knows enemies don't always knock. Some prefer to slip in through the shadows, leaving clues that don't make sense until it's too late. Amy tries to piece together motives, thinking through every interaction, every tense conversation, every uneasy moment from the past weeks. There is a pattern somewhere, they just haven't seen it yet. Tim, however, is sure of one thing. This is personal. He can feel it. His instincts scream that someone isn't just attacking the ranch, they're attacking the people in it. Someone wants to rattle the family, maybe drive them apart, maybe drag them into fear. And whoever it is, they're bold. Enough to cross Heartland land without hesitation. But the biggest question remains unsolved. Why now? Why choose this moment, this season, this episode to strike? What has changed that made revenge feel necessary? The audience begins to understand that this isn't just a simple mystery, it's a turning point. A threat like this doesn't disappear. It grows, it learns, and it waits. Somewhere out there, the person responsible is watching Heartland closely. Closer than anyone realizes. The damage to the fence and the strange piece of fabric affect more than just the land they shake, the people who call Heartland home. The threat may be silent, but its weight falls on every member of the family in a different way. Pressing on old fears, stirring memories, and making even ordinary moments feel fragile, Amy tries to stay strong. But every time she walks into the barn, she feels a knot tighten in her chest. The horses trust her, and she knows their fear doesn't come from nothing. She worries about them the way a mother worries about her children. Every sound, every sudden movement makes her look over her shoulder. She tells herself to stay calm, but the truth is clear. Someone crossed a line, and now everything feels unsafe. Jack, the steady heart of the ranch, carries the burden in silence. He remembers every time the family was tested, every threat they overcame, every heartbreak that shaped them. But this feels different. This feels like an enemy that doesn't want to fight, they want fear. He sits on the porch in the evenings, watching the fields, listening for anything unusual. His calm face hides the storm inside him. He won't let fear win, but he also can't ignore the sense that someone out there is testing him, pushing him, waiting for him to break. Lou tries to stay practical, as she always does. She makes calls, checks security, tries to add rules and routines to protect everyone. But even she can't hide her worry. The ranch is supposed to be a safe space for her daughters, a place where problems don't follow them.
Wow.
She catches herself locking doors twice, checking windows, scanning the driveway every time a car passes by. She keeps telling everyone we're fine, but the tremble in her voice betrays her. Tim reacts the strongest. He hates threats, hates secrets, and he especially hates not knowing who is coming after his family. His protective side turns into anger as he pushes to find answers. But beneath all that anger is fear, the fear of failing the people he. Night settles over Heartland, but it does not bring comfort. The ranch, usually glowing with a sense of peace after sunset, feels colder. Heavier, like the land itself is waiting for something to happen, and it does. The second warning arrives, quietly slipping into their lives without a sound, proving that whoever is behind this is not only bold, but patient. It starts when Amy goes out to check the horses before bed. She carries a lantern, the soft light bouncing across the barn walls. Everything looks normal until she reaches Spartan's stall. The door latch is loose, not open but moved. Amy's breath catches. She knows she locked it earlier. She knows her routines. She knows her animals. Spartan would never push a latch himself. Someone touched it. Someone wanted to get close. Her heart races, but she tries to stay steady. She checks the other stalls one by one. Some have shifted bedding, like the horses were pacing more than usual. A few buckets are knocked to the side, not in a chaotic way, but in a deliberate one. As if someone walked through the barn and the animals reacted to a presence they didn't trust. Amy feels the fear rise inside her, but she forces herself to breathe, to think, stay calm for the horses. Outside, Jack and Tim suddenly hear something soft footsteps, maybe, or the snap of a twig in the darkness. Jack stops, listening hard. Tim moves forward, ready to confront whoever might be out there, but the darkness gives nothing back. No figure, no voice, just silence that feels too controlled, too perfect. Someone was there, but they slipped away the moment they were noticed. Lou finds something too, small object left near the porch, the kind of thing that doesn't belong on a ranch. It's a metal buckle, old and rusted, shaped in a way none of them recognize. It looks like it was placed there, not dropped, the way someone leaves a calling card. When she shows it to Jack, he stares at it for a long moment, trying to understand its meaning. It doesn't belong to any of them. It doesn't belong to any of the horses. It's another warning wrapped in mystery. The tension spreads through Heartland like a slow burn. Every sound feels suspicious. Every shadow feels alive. Even the dogs sense it. They stay close to the house, ears raised, growling at the wind. What makes this escalation truly frightening isn't just the actions themselves, but the message behind them. The person targeting Heartland isn't rushing. They're planning. They're studying. They're testing boundaries. This isn't a random attack. This isn't a simple grudge. This is someone building a path toward something bigger, and the family knows it. Now, this isn't about fear anymore. It's about control. Someone wants them to feel watched, unsettled, vulnerable. The storm they sensed earlier is no longer on its way. It's already here. The tension at Heartland reaches a breaking point when night falls again, this time, heavier, darker, almost suffocating. The moon barely shines, hiding the ranch under a blanket of shadows. Everyone is on edge. No one says it out loud, but they all feel the same thing. Tonight is different. Tonight, something's going to happen. It begins with a phone ringing. A single, sharp sound cutting through the quiet house. Lou answers, expecting a late call about work or a simple mistake. But the line is empty. It's not silent empty. No breathing, no clicking, nothing human on the other end. Just the faint hum of a connection that shouldn't exist. Then it ends. Just a few seconds. A few seconds that send chills down her spine. At the same time, Remy is in the barn again, double-checking the stalls, running her hand along the doors as if the wood itself might tell her a secret. She turns to leave, ready to join the others. Inside, when she notices something impossible to ignore, Spartan is staring toward the open doorway, ears pinned back, muscles tight. Amy slowly follows his gaze. Outside, at the far edge of the yard, where the darkness begins to swallow the land, a figure stands, not moving, not speaking, just watching. The lantern light doesn't reach far enough to reveal a face. The figure, it looks like part shadow, part danger, standing perfectly still, as if waiting for Amy to notice. Her breath freezes. She doesn't scream. She doesn't run. She just stands there, locked in a silent standoff with a person she cannot see but instantly fears. Before she can say anything, the house lights flicker. For just a moment, a pulse of electricity, a heartbeat of darkness. Lou calls out from inside and Jack rushes to the window. By the time he reaches it, the figure is gone, slipped into the night as quietly as they appeared. But the terror doesn't end there. When Tim steps outside with a flashlight, scanning the fields, he sees something in the dirt near the barn. A footprint. Deep. Fresh. Pointing straight toward the house, not away from it. Whoever was watching wasn't leaving. They were coming closer. Jack bends down to inspect it, and as the camera closes in, the footprint becomes clearer, sharper, heavier than a normal step. Someone stood there long enough to press their weight into the ground. Someone confident, someone unafraid. Then Amy finds one final clue on the barn door. A symbol scratched into the wood. Simple, small, but threatening, a mark that wasn't there before, a mark that wasn't made by an animal, a mark that feels like a promise. The episode ends in that moment. The camera pulls back to reveal the ranch swallowed in night, the family gathered with fear tightening around them, the symbol glowing faintly in the lantern light. No answers, no identity, no explanation, just a single haunting truth. The final moments of episode 9 leave the Heartland family and the audience trapped in a silence that feels louder than any storm. The strange symbol on the barn door burns in their minds long after. The lantern light fades. Fear hangs in the air, but so does something else. Confusion. Because the clues point in so many directions, yet none lead to a clear answer. That is exactly what makes this threat so terrifying. Whoever is behind it knows how to stay hidden. They know how to strike without being seen.
They know how
To shake the family without laying a single hand on them. As the family gathers inside the house, their voices hushed and nervous, theories begin to form. It's one more unsettling than the last. Amy believes the person is connected to the horses. Someone who understands how to unsettle them without leaving obvious signs. Could it be a trainer with a personal grudge? Someone who once tried to prove they were better than her, and now sees revenge as the only way to reclaim their pride? Jack, however, looks deeper into the past. He thinks about people who once came close to the family, only to leave hurt or angry. Heartland has changed many lives, but not every story ends peacefully. Some leave behind unfinished business. Some leave behind bitterness that grows quietly until it demands attention. The old buckle found on the porch, the broken fence, the silent phone call. It all feels like someone sending reminders of a history they refuse to bury. Lou considers the more unsettling possibility. A stranger. Someone who has been studying them from the background, building courage with every passing day. Someone who doesn't need a past with the family, only a motive: jealousy, obsession, frustration, or something darker. The idea that the family might not know their enemy at all makes her chest tighten. How do you protect your home from someone you can't identify? But Tim sees the symbol on the barn door for what it truly is, a warning, but not the last one. He believes the person is escalating, climbing step by step towards something bigger, something explosive. The footprint facing the house tells Tim everything he needs to know. The next move won't be subtle. This enemy isn't satisfied with fear alone. They want power. They want control. And they want the family to know they aren't safe. For the viewers, Episode 9 leaves a trail of questions that will echo into Episode 10 and beyond. Who is the shadow watching the ranch? Why are they targeting the family? What does the strange symbol mean? And perhaps the most chilling question of all, what will they do next? The final scene doesn't offer closure. Instead, it opens the door to endless possibilities. Maybe an old enemy is resurfacing. Maybe a rival is pushing the family toward a breaking point. Or maybe this is the start of a brand new threat, one that will follow the family into the rest of the season. The camera's last shot of the dark barn door feels like a promise and a threat at the same time. The person behind this isn't finished. They're only getting started. And as the audience waits for episode 10, one thing becomes painfully clear: